Welcome, everybody, to the Seven Figure Offer Suite, the live program. Whether you're here with me live or you're watching the replay, super excited you're here. I was just saying before I clicked record that I love teaching offers, and this is probably my favorite program to do because of the impact that understanding how to put an offer together, making that match between what is my mastery, what is the work I feel like I'm here to do, and then connecting that with who's my dream client and what's the impact on their life. Like that link and that linking together has so many times shifted the game for me, and the game being, the game of business. And the other thing that, I mean, there's a lot of things worth saying, but the other thing I'll say right now is so many times I have needed to tweak and evolve my business, whether that has been by choice or by life circumstance. Everything from like having a sick child and not feeling like I had the capacity to run certain offers, or when my mom was sick and I needed to take more time off and I needed to switch up my offers to accommodate like me pulling back, or circumstance like COVID, when COVID hit and I had to tweak things and a lot of people went from in person to online. So the power of knowing how to shift, tweak, evolve your offers, that's like the first piece. And the second piece is, well, not even in any particular order, but you being able to do the work that you really feel called to do. And over the last few days, yesterday I shared a reel that was about something, your soul is dying and you're sick of it. And today I said, you're not jealous, you're mad. Like you're mad at yourself for not doing that thing and for putting yourself in a box. And like pop in the chat if you have been guilty, maybe that's the wrong word, but of doing work that you don't love, and of staying inside and staying and doing work and offers, working with clients, selling things that you're just not lit up by. If you can relate, pop that in the chat. Welcome everybody who's just joining. Beth Ann, I'm so happy to see your beautiful face in bright blue. Nicole, lots of OGs here. Yeah. So what I really want is like for this to be a reclamation for you, as in take this time over the next couple of weeks to allow yourself to step back. It's really easy in a program like this to really want to just right away dive into the strategy and the messaging and the offers. And actually, my original plan was that we were going to start with clients today and then move into offer strategy. And I switched that up because I was like, we actually need to have a bigger conversation. And I want to do an exercise, which actually Joanne and Beth Ann, you have both done this particular exercise. So you might find some of today a little bit of a repeat, but everyone else, this is a brand new exercise for you. Yeah, working 9 to 5, not express what my soul has to say, middle of a migration to only do what I want. The challenge is the transition, 100%. And it's like, even if it's something I've noticed, it doesn't actually matter whether you're going from a 9 to 5 to more soul expressed work, or you have been doing things a certain way, or with a business partner in another avenue, and now you're making this transition. Like it's actually, I mean, obviously there's different logistics, but it's actually all the same. And so the capacity to be able to create offers that you can then fill easily, that bring you that joy, that light you up, will give you that freedom in that transition. And there's definitely, when you're in a transition, there is a dynamic where you're still juggling that old piece and you might have a foot in the door to your old world, right? Like not everybody, and actually I'll I've shared this before, but I haven't really shared it recently, is when I quit my job 9 to 5 and started coaching full time, when it wasn't even full time at first, it was bit by bit. I ended up taking on a consulting gig that could float me and stretch me over the first 6 months of my job. And so, or first 6 months of my coaching business. So even though on the outside looking in, or even looking back when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I just made the leap. I just left. I did. I left. I had no plan. I took that summer off. And my plan was we'll use our line of credit to float us. And then when I saw the amount of money that I was going to need to invest in my coaching business and that it was going to take a little bit of time to get things off the ground, I was like, you know what? I want that like safety net. And so I took a consulting gig and it was probably worth $50,000 over the 6 months. And what I did was I ended up hiring people under me. So I didn't actually net the 50K, but I outsourced a lot of it and I managed the project. And it was just enough money to sort of float me over that time period. But all the while, I was really anchored in and connected to the soul work, the work that I'm here to do. And so I really want today and over the next few weeks to be your permission slip to give yourself that opportunity to actually map out what you desire. Your mind is going to be tempted to get into the how and the nitty gritty of a lot of this. You're going to be like, how am I going to do this? Who are the people who are going to buy this? Will anyone buy this? What will I say on social media? That's going to come, but you need to allow yourself to be in that open space. And I had this beautiful client say to me the other day, she was like, you know, my soul is so expressed, but my mind and my ego just kind of keeps me so boxed in. And so the challenge is to stay in that soul expression and to be as big and bold and brave and brilliant as your soul knows it to be. And that's why, like, this really is, it's a remembering, it's a recalibration, it's returning to, it's not even it, yes, it's creating something new, but it's also returning to who you were in this, you know, most fully expressed form. Okay, Samantha says, oh, good. You're excited today. Finished your first draft script, recorded the, oh, amazing, amazing. And just like something like a little baby step like that, something to stay connected and be reconnected to the work you're doing. Okay, I have to take my belt off because it keeps clunking against my desk and it's so annoying. And I needed to tell you why I was doing that. It's like every time I hit my desk, I can hear it clunk. It's really, and it's like, I don't need a belt. Okay, so let's pop in the chat before we dive into today's lesson. By the way, today is going to be a like work session. And I'm going to call it the offer intensive. The 7-figure offer suite is like a working program, as in this is not you listening to me every single call and then you going away and doing stuff. Because what I know is most of us will get busy with our lives and calls and kids and people and not actually do the things. And so I want these calls, we're going to have opportunities to do the work, to work on your offers. And then I will be here to also answer questions and to workshop with you. We may or may not go into breakout rooms depending on our numbers. So I just want you to have a little bit of context of how I'm going to be running this program. There will, of course, be teachings and lessons, but there's also going to be time to implement an integration and learn an action right on the calls. I want you to actually walk away with something inside of this program and it not be theory that you then need to implement. Like I want by the end of this program, you have this stuff done and mapped out and you're creating and you're moving and you're going. How does that sound? Are we on board? Okay, good. What else did I want to say? I am always curious. I like to ask people, what is it that brought you here? Like, what are you most hoping to achieve and to get out of this program? What would you love to have done, love to have created? Is there one thing? Are there many things I'd love to know? Just pop it into the chat if you're open to sharing. And Shreya, will you tell me if I'm pronouncing your name correctly or if there's a different way to say it?
Yeah, it's Shreya.
Shreya.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, welcome. You were on the masterclass last week,
I
right?
was. Yeah, it was amazing. Thank
Yeah,
you. I'm
good.
excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. Okay, Samantha's here to learn. Beth Ann still being challenged, offering a year-long program at 25K. Okay, Lolis is here for the offer. Yeah, low ticket signature offer to mastermind. Cassidy is here having an opportunity to make decisions about what I want to do next based on passion. Yay, without much consideration for whether it's financially practical. So I'm trying to think bigger and really tune into what I want, not what feels practical. Yeah, and on that note, and I don't know if we talked about this yesterday over in the collective or not, but there's this, the energy of like, I need to make money, I have to make money, and that is true. And we get to flip the script on that narrative that it can be passion project, it can be soul, it can be expansive, and it can be practical speaking, as in it's going to pay our bills. And it just requires that we go against our conditioning, because we have been taught that, like, think money first, think practicality first, and all of that is completely made up. Okay, Nicole, feeling so confident in my offer suite, owning them, being anchored in them, confident in them. Yes, yes, yes. Going after the premium clients. Um, Making sure my new prices and what you get are everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I would say like you're looking for like some cohesiveness. And that is important. Like when we feel like things are cohesive and fleshed out and connected, that feels really good. Okay, so and Joanne says clarity on my offer ladder and premium ladder. Okay, great. I promise you we're going to do all those things. We're not going to do those things today, but I promise you we're going to do all those things. Embodying the energy of my soul, translating it into an offer suite that lights me up and is scalable. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, you are all in the right place. So that makes me happy. When I was reviewing kind of some of the outcomes that we're going to be covering in this program, not necessarily in any particular order, but upgraded identity was one of them. And this is something that's going to be happening all throughout and is an ongoing journey. You will never stop upgrading your identity. It will always be an evolution. And upgraded identity to me means that as you increase your rates, who you're wanting to attract, your dream clients, your offers, your messaging, what you say on social media, all of those pieces, that you are also upgrading who you are. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're changing who you are, but you're changing your standards, your boundaries, what you're available for, what you're not available for, how you talk to yourself, the narrative you use. And the upgrading process, the more you upgrade your internal identity, the more you will see where there's a mismatch with what you're doing. And it's like, you won't be able to tolerate it anymore. There will come these points, and you probably have all experienced this, where like you get to this certain point and you're like, I'm not doing it like that anymore. I actually can't. That hurts too much. And you will also see who needs to fall away from your life, who you no longer, not just on the personal side, who you no longer want to be friends with, but who you don't want to work with in your business. And you'll want to surround yourself with people who are thinking bigger and bolder and who hold space for your bigger ideas instead of shrinking them down. It requires that we treat ourselves more kindly. I was going to say more better. It requires that we treat ourselves on a higher caliber. And I was on this call, and one of my mentors, she was talking about brand and buyers, and she pulled out this it was such a great visual. She pulled out a pink, I don't know, it wasn't a Louis Vuitton. It was like a high-end handbag. She pulls out this high-end handbag, and she's like, okay, so the salesperson at this store, maybe it was Balenciaga, brings out the bag and says, here's this premium high ticket bag. And along with this premium high ticket bag comes along all my baggage, all my self doubt, all my limiting beliefs, my low self worth, all the horrible things I think and say about myself to myself. Do you want to buy it? And I was just like, it was so clear to me in that moment, like what happened. So we repackage our offers and we're like, okay, now I have a 10K offer or a 25K offer. Meanwhile, you say these really negative, nasty things to yourself, or you're like, I don't really know that it's good enough. Or like I think about cars and you go into a car lot and like the salesperson is going to be like, this BMW is a luxury vehicle. It's made with top of the line leather. We look after the stitching. We do this, we test this, it's safety rated this, right? They're going to sell you on the premium offer. Whereas, especially women, we're like, here's my premium offer. I'm not really sure you want it. And oh, maybe you should go work with my coach because she's probably better. And there's a million other people who, could offer you this. Like, that's what I mean by upgrading your identity. So you're going to start creating premium offers. It's going to require that you tweak, you shift, you evolve how you feel about yourself, how you talk about yourself. And again, this is an ongoing process. Okay, what else? We still haven't dove in yet. This is all preamble. This program, we have 4 live calls scheduled for it. You would all have the scheduled by now. If you have any questions, you can send an email to the team. This is a living program.